Attention. The movie guys love movies. Any comments about plagiarism are purely for entertainment purposes only. Isn't that right, Melania Trump? We will not go quietly into night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today we celebrate our Independence Day.
It's a pretty big get, Paul. I can't believe you got Melania.
She wrote that speech herself.
Wow. Impressive.
I don't know, it sounds familiar to me.
I didn't know she was speaking. I didn't realize. I just was looking at that woman. All kidding aside, don't you want that to be your first lady? Because here's what every negotiation
Wait, that's
should be.
the kidding aside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously. All negotiations with Donald Trump as president should be, you know what, we're going to get to that nuclear proliferation, but first, can you have a chat with Melania? It's like that Seinfeld episode where the pretty girl walks in and everything, all the problems are solved. She doesn't get speeding tickets, she gets front row tickets.
I am impressed that didn't he run like a beauty contest for a few years there, and he's stuck with Melania the whole time. That's a lot. That's a whole lineup.
18 years they've been married. Huh?
18 years of
God, I'm old.
Of Miss USA's
That's
that
right.
he could have had or had that we don't know about.
That's right.
18 years of her having to have sex with him.
I don't know if that's part of the deal.
I don't think so. That poor
He
woman.
knows the art of the deal, and that's probably not part of the deal.
I just want her to be the first lady.
Unbelievable.
Third.
The movie guys, here we are in the movie Showcast, your regular show that you get every week, part of the vast and sprawling movie guys empire. Hard to believe they got the floors cleaned in here after what happened. They had a lot of cats. You've reached ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on our show every week with rants, sketches, previews, characters, jokes, bits, banter, special guests, and more. You can expect that in the next hour or so as we broadcast from our studio, the Admiral's Club, here in the heart of Burbank Airport's flyover zone. Every week, we bring you a brand new show. Absolutely.
Oh, Paul, turns out I did not already win the Publishers Clearinghouse, even though the envelope said that I may have already won.
Yeah, I saw that. You may have already won.
Which is why I hurriedly opened it to find out that I did not already win.
Hurriedly? Is that a word?
Hurriedly.
Oh, nice.
Which means I do not have the $10 million that I thought were in the envelope.
I can see where you're sweating, but don't worry about it. The show is free.
Oh,
Whoa.
okay.
And we encourage you to follow us on social media at The Movie Guys on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, which is also free, and get interactive with us. Basically, just search The Movie Guys on Google, Yahoo, or Bing! And we come right up. I'm your host for the hardest working comedy show in the airwaves, Paul Preston, here with Bart Caius.
Movies aren't about the details, they're about the big picture.
Adam Witt.
I told you to mind the store, Leo, not open your own franchise.
And Karen Volpe.
You guys, this is exactly how I pictured my death.
We're all in studio.
Karen, you're supposed to pick a line from a movie, not what you're thinking at the time.
So we're all here. Plus, back to our regular format, as we have a guest.
Yay!
Joining us is an actor who has appeared in a number of iconic films and TV shows like Boardwalk Empire and Captain Phillips, to Twin Peaks and First Blood. And he'll be in the show later. Chris Mulkey will be here. Right now he's enjoying the green room and all of the
First
amenities.
Blood?
Yeah, right?
Yes.
That's badass, isn't
Yes.
it?
We
I
got
looked
plenty
that
to
up
talk
today.
about.
Yeah, wow.
There's a lot to talk about.
I'm guessing he was one of the sheriff deputies, right? Traipsing through the woods.
Traipsing.
Yeah. He did a lot of traipsing in that movie.
This is so exciting.
Everyone traipsed.
Yeah, there's a lot
of
How else
traipsing.
do you get through the woods?
That's going to be awesome.
And as ever, we kick off the show with...
Movie previews.
Last week, we had a lot of talk about one movie. This week, the schedule is much more packed.
Oh.
So we've got 4 movies to cover and shouldn't waste any time doing it. I know most of you find out what each week's new releases are by coming to our humble showcast. We appreciate that. This week, we have pretty much every genre represented. First, J.J. Abrams' company Bad Robot produces yet another movie this year, giving Blumhouse a run for their money with Star Trek Beyond. And we have a kids' movie, and they only come in one genre, comedy.
Cartoon?
They're in cartoon comedy.
Cartoon comedy.
Yeah.
It's Ice Age Collision Course, and it will have Lights Out. And later in the show...
Hi, darling. No, I'm working for Nobu this week. You don't know this, and I don't know this, but Kate Moss is changing her PR. You've got to get her. No. Kate Moss, darling.
Kate Moss, darling.
The Ab Fab Gang with Kate Moss. It's not going to go well.
Darling,
Yeah.
sweetie, darling.
I don't want to shortchange Ab
Yes,
Fab. We'll
darling.
get to that in a second. But you brought up a good point.
You'll shortchange Ab Fab
Already?
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. I'll give it short shrift in due time. When was the last time there was a kids movie that wasn't a comedy? When was like
It
I
was-
think they're the only
like
genre,
Benji?
right?
It
Benji
was the
like-
after-school special in the 80s.
right?
Oh, yeah. Those are
But there-
dramas.
Those
there
were
used to
sad.
be-
Yeah, that one with Megan Follows. Hockey Night. or
Yeah.
whatever. That's the last one.
Hockey Night, yeah.
That was Canadian.
1980 or something or other. Yeah. But no, you're right.
Kids
They
movies
don't.
have to be comedies.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Wasn't Benji not a comedy? Benji was.
Well, I mean, then the dog dies if it's not a comedy. That's all sad.
Benji never died, did he?
Old Yeller did. That wasn't a comedy.
Man, I can't think of one.
I don't know if that's a kid's movie.
I mean,
I thought it
Boomer
was.
died.
They showed it to us in grade school.
Well, this explains a lot.
the other big movies were Zootopia and Finding Dory for
Right?
kids. Yeah.
Oh, Finding Dory could be sad. I mean,
Well, it's got
looking
heart.
for her parents, right?
Well, either way, they're animated. I can't
Oh,
think of
that's
just like
true.
kids doing.
Oh.
Also, nowadays it's
Stand
all
By Me?
franchises, and your kids are going to age out of it.
What
Maybe
was
Stand By Me?
No Good Judy Bummer Summer, and what was the other one?
God, yeah, that was like
I crap my pants in kindergarten. What was that movie?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
There it was. Yeah,
Those-
Diary.
those
of a
I
Wimpy
happen.
think of diarrhea of a wimpy
Yeah.
kid.
I thought it was called I crap my pants in kindergarten. I'm pretty sure
I
that's what it
wanna
was called.
That is a major theme of that
In
movie.
Diary with Wimpy
Yeah.
Kid. Yeah, craps his pants. in
And other
kindergarten.
films, I'm sure. Now, we talked about Ghostbusters all
my
last week, so Karen would like to chime in. We had a pretty level-headed conversation about it, given the vitriol out there for this remake.
I hope it was worth trying to stalk and kill Leslie
Leslie
because-
Jones for no
because,
reason.
I've heard everyone is, and I hope it's for a good reason.
Yeah, and she is like talking to Twitter specifically. But can we change the rules
Oh, yeah.
here
Yeah,
so
she should.
people aren't
That's ridiculous.
like
Wait,
you know.
what's happening now?
Leslie Jones has had death threats and everything else just for being in Ghostbusters.
For being in
and,
Ghostbusters.
and here's something you should know.
craziest
She's fantastic in Ghostbusters. I'm not
I-
saying that if she were
Here's something
bad,
else
you're
you should
allowed
know.
to try
It's
to kill her.
Ghostbusters.
It's Ghostbusters.
Yeah, everybody relax.
Everybody relax.
So-
Fantastic. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I didn't see it coming either because every
Yes,
time.
Karen, your full report.
All right, my report is.
Oh, your mini report. You got 4 movies.
I'll go talk really fast. Ghostbusters was surprisingly fantastic, and there's a couple of reasons why. I saw it 3 times already because that's how I roll. But first of all, Leslie Jones was so good in the movie. She's super solid and smart, and she actually has a much more important role than Zeddemore did.
Yeah.
She's on top of things.
Got the same heart as Zeddemore.
Yeah,
people
for
were
sure.
complaining that she was a worker, and I was like,
No.
they're putting Zeddemore. They're giving it her the Zeddemore feel, which is a little more working class.
Because you have these scientists, and these scientists have a peculiar way of dealing with the world because they're all, heady scientists. And she obviously is a person who understands how to deal with the world and not get, the crap beat out of her. So you need that combination because she's badass and goes out and gets things done. And at the same time, you have the heart of the Ghostbusters, which is Melissa McCarthy's character, who is so adorable and sweet and smart and funny and a big, just a big cuddle muffin, much like Dan Aykroyd was. And then the Venkman character, we take out all of the crazy, weird hitting on people sexualism, and we just have a really smart woman who's super funny. And I love that. The one thing I like about this movie is at no time do the women ever feel fat or ugly or worry about how they look because they're too busy kicking ass.
Not even during the bra and panty clad pillow fight that I'm hoping
Oddly enough,
happens in this
that
movie.
doesn't happen.
No?
However, we get to see a very adorable Ken doll looking representation of Chris Hemsworth. They don't push him over like if it were a woman, her tits would have been hanging out and her ass would have been hanging out.
That's the great thing
But they
about
don't
that.
push it. He's just adorable, like a little Ken doll, and it's so funny.
They can make all the hitting on the secretary and ditz jokes that you just cannot do anymore by making him a male bimbo. And the greatest, most Arrested Development line is when he shows them 2 headshots and he says, "Which one makes me look more like a doctor? This one of me playing a saxophone, or this one of me listening to a saxophone?"
And the entire time, no shirt on.
Yeah, no,
And-
shirtless.
In either photo.
Completely
Brilliant,
shirtless.
brilliant.
But the women are scientists first and
And he's,
foremost.
for the record, this is another visual joke in it. Is he simply holding a saxophone next to his ear?
Listening to a saxophone.
So Arrested
It's so quotable too. That's the other thing that I was afraid the other movie would be in my head, and it
Yeah.
wasn't at all.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate, the very first character you meet is a guy giving a tour. And maybe 3 lines into it, I knew we were okay because he said, here is where they had the face bidet and they had a fence to keep out the Irish. And I said, we're good. We're fantastic.
It's got the edge right out top. Oh,
Yeah.
this movie's got
Edge,
edge.
yeah.
That's good.
I'm the only one at the table that has not seen this movie. But I have seen Ghostbusters 2 about 4 times on the TBS report. So for those of you not leaving your homes like me, feel free to dial up. I don't even know if it's TBS. It might be Esquire. They're running the crap
Just
out of
between
Ghostbusters.
Conan and Samantha Bee, it's
Yep,
all Ghostbusters.
It's just all Ghostbusters.
Amazing.
And you know what? Ghostbusters 2, give it a shot. It's not as bad as you think it might be.
Hairless cats.
It's
Weird.
hilarious. Yeah.
And I-
And that's the thing about aliens. Every once in a while you meet a good one, but you know.
and the last thing I will say is that Venkman is one of those classic Bill Murray characters, doesn't do much, always wins. Can slack his way through a movie and win. Stripes, meatballs, it's what he does. Erin, Kristen Wiig's character, is much different. So if you're looking for a different Ghostbusters
It's
movie,
very different,
she's a character who can't win. And it's funny to see her not win. It's funny to see
And
her
she should win
try and
because
get to the
she's-
mayor
Yeah.
through these
True.
glass windows that she thinks are doors, and it's hilarious.
Which is, by the way, homage to Louis Tully trying to
Louis
get
Tully,
into
I absolutely
the
caught
restaurant whenever he's trying to run away from the
Wonderful.
demon dog. And it's so great
She thinks they're all
because
sliding
she
glass
thinks they're sliding doors, and she's a
sad.
scientist.
It's so sad.
It's so
She's
sad.
a scientist. It's so sad.
So, Karen,
good.
a hearty thumbs
Everyone
up.
go, yes.
And you're back in
great.
Ghostbusters mode.
Oh, I
It
can't
seems like
even-
you were back when the first one came out.
Oh my gosh, I have to see it in the theater, and I figured out why. Because first of all, I like going to that world. I just love being in the Ghostbuster world. There's something about it.
And I'll say on top of that,
yes.
the look and feel is a Ghostbusters
totally
movie. So Fee, right at the top, it looks and feels.
Even the
leave music.
graininess, everything.
Yeah.
He does it totally James Bond style, which is there's a haunting at the beginning,
Yep.
and then we hit the theme, Ghostbuster, and you're like, that's how I want this to begin that way
This
every
is
time.
how it's,
you know?
and
Yeah,
the guy,
great.
they had the first actor had such a wonderful look of terror on his face.
Yeah.
Great casting.
Yeah,
All the smaller parts, and I don't want to say smaller, but the roles that are not the ones you expect to see are fantastically cast and
Friend
done.
of the show,
But
Matt
anyway,
Walsh.
you were
Matt
finishing
Walsh.
up. You have to go to the theater.
Who is that floating beefcake? You have to go to the theater to see it, I think, because this is one of those movies that you need to see it at a big screen. But also, I don't see this, playing again over and over and over. So I have to see it as much in the theater right now as I can.
Karen, would you like to go see it?
Yes, I'll
I
go
would
see
like
it
to
with
see
you.
it with you.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it.
So I'm waiting for
Yes,
this.
so good.
You want to go
see it, Chris?
All right, we're
Yes.
doing this.
It's from the green room. Chris says he's going to go too. This is exciting.
But it's a great movie. Bring your daughters. It's such a strong movie for women. It's a great movie.
Bring your daughters to movie day.
Well, let's get to our first film of the upcoming weekend.
And bring men to movies that like women. Anyone who likes women.
There you go.
They should see it.
Oh, I do. I'll go.
Here's a
There
genre
you go.
film. Somebody must be pissed.
All right, first movie. Like Batman and the Valley of the Dolls before it, Star Trek is going beyond. Adam, let's talk about it. Here we go. Switching, pretty much. Not a 180, but onto Star Trek. Here we go.
Well, it's also a genre movie.
165.
There you go.
Star Trek goes beyond J.J. Abrams in the third installment of the adventures of the USS Enterprise.
Some posters have only the word beyond, making this very confusing for Toy Story fans who fear they've missed the prequel to infinity.
The new crew of the Enterprise is now 3 years into their 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, and have all of that piss off their fans.
This is the first Star Trek movie in the series not directed by J.J. Abrams, who left the series to direct another movie when he responded to this Craigslist ad. Wanted, a writer-director to reboot a famous sci-fi franchise. Must have previous experience restarting long-dormant beloved series with a rabid fan base, preferably named Star Something.
This installment of Star Trek is directed by Justin Lin, director of Fast and Furious. Not to be confused with The Fast and the Furious. Fast and Furious is the fourth movie in the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Oh, okay.
Now, Too Fast, Too Furious was the sequel to The Fast and the Furious.
Oh, yeah.
I need
But
to
The
write
Fast
this
and the
down.
Furious
Wait a
Tokyo
minute.
Drift, the movie
Yeah.
after Too Fast and Too Furious, wasn't really a sequel, but was eventually folded into the grand story design.
Your point?
Right, my point. My point is that this movie is directed by Justin Lin.
All right.
This director choice has led to some criticism that this Star Trek looks too fast and furious. Good research, guys. I probably could have told you that. If you're trying to point out that I don't need your opinion, well, I'm ahead of you.
This time the Enterprise goes deep into space and is attacked by an alien named Idris Elba.
Actually, the alien is played by Idris Elba. The character's name is Krall.
Idris Elba is a more convincing alien name, gotta be
All
honest.
right, well, that's true. Krall's attack forces Kirk and anyone not wearing a red shirt to abandon the ship and seek refuge on an alien planet where Kirk must lead what's left of his crew in a fight for survival against a seemingly unstoppable alien army, all while trying to find a way off the planet and back home.
There's also a new alien ally whose name is slightly different new facial makeup than Krall. Here's a clip where the Starfleet crew has to communicate with a whole new group of aliens.
Yip, 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 yip. Oh, yep, 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 yep,
It may not be from the movie. Probably not from the movie, that clip.
Krall attacks the starship without warning because he needs and wants a valuable ancient artifact that's on the starship, and because he's smart and he knows attacking without warning is the best way to attack. First rule of attacking: don't tell them you're about to attack.
For those of you who may not know, Krall is a lizard-like dictator that gets his life force from sucking the life out of his victims. So if you ask me, Star Trek Space Vampires would have been a much better title. But apparently, Taylor Lautner wasn't available for the movie.
Actually, Taylor Lautner was in Twilight, but his character Jacob was a werewolf.
You really think any of our listeners know that?
What is Krall's endgame? To turn everyone on the Enterprise gay, starting with Sulu.
I don't think that's what happens.
Oh, then you haven't been reading Twitter. Here's the scene where Sulu comes out to the crew.
I'm gay! He's gay!
I'm glad they turned it into a musical sequence.
It's
I
so
thought that was
upbeat.
catchy.
I think it's very catchy.
I think my clips are off today. they play a clip and it's...
I'm gay!
He's gay. Oh, that's nice.
Sulu isn't turned gay by the alien menace, but it is revealed that in the current timeline, Sulu is gay, just like the actor who played Sulu previously, George Takei.
The announcement that Sulu was gay gave liberals whiplash when they stood to applaud the move, only to find out that George Takei was opposed to the idea. However, in defense of screenwriter Simon Pegg, it's probably hard to write the character of Sulu without thinking of George Takei.
The trailer also features a new song by Rihanna called Sledgehammer. Here's a bit of the song I really want to hear.
I wanna be the sledgehammer.
Paul, that was Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer.
I know. That's the song I really wanted to hear. Here's Rihanna.
I hit a wall. I never felt so low, so low.
It's got an air of 007 theme to it.
It does,
It
yeah.
really sounds like a great 007 theme.
I was about ready to make fun of that, and then I had that
It's not
exact
bad.
thought.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I like this better than the last Bond song.
Oh, I do too.
That Bond
It's-
song sucked.
That
That won
one
the
that
Oscar.
Michael, somebody or other sang it.
Wait, Paul, you didn't get to the part where she repeats a syllable over and over again. Hammer,
Track.
hammer,
That she's big for that. If it worked the first time, do it over and
Yeah.
over.
Sounds like Star Trek Beyonce. To sum up, if there's one theme that can encompass vocal movie fans this summer from Batman v Superman to Ghostbusters,
Yes?
is that they wish everyone would stop making movies. Please, boldly go f*** yourselves.
All right, well, there's that one. Star Trek Beyond, everybody.
I want to mark on the script, you need to bleep that.
Yeah, you might want to bleep that out.
We're going to bleep that.
I forgot this movie was coming out. I've been so busy
I
with
know.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, it gets exciting these summers.
Wow, there's a Star Trek movie.
Right?
There's a lot of summer left.
Holy cow.
We
So-
got Jason Bourne
Oh
coming.
my
We
God,
got
we have
Suicide
Jason Bourne.
Squad
Oh my
coming.
God.
I was
Lots to do.
paying attention during that
Yes?
preview, and it occurred to me that there is some backlash against this movie, that people are upset. Didn't we
People
like
are
the last
upset.
one he did? Wasn't the last one
Upset
great?
about
Loved it.
everything.
But didn't we like the last one?
Well,
No, I guess we didn't.
They didn't. Well, also
But we did. I mean, I did. We all did.
I
but
did, but people had a problem that Khan wasn't Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah.
It's because, he's dead, so you can never do Khan again.
Don't tell me you're going to ruin their childhood.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Of course.
yeah,
No,
that's
there's a
always
very vocal, simplistic minority of fans out there that shout a lot. But yeah, the last one was great.
I thought the last one was great.
was
yeah.
great.
The last one sold me. I never was a Star Trek fan until I saw that. Now I like everything about it.
It's Benedict Cumberbatch
so
as
good.
Khan.
Yeah, it was good.
I want to slap anybody that doesn't think that's awesome.
And the first one was fantastic.
Yeah. It
was
What a way to reboot. Just say, we're going to change the timeline, do whatever we want. You know what? Forgiven. Boom. And have fun with it. And they
And
did.
the same pluses with Ghostbusters. It's like, oh man, you really gonna have to cast someone with some real gravitas to cover Ricardo. Oh, never mind, he did. Okay.
Yeah, you
Cool.
did. Guess
Cool.
what? There's a lot of really good actors out there. So, yay.
And they're all in this one. I mean, Pine's great.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to miss Anton Yelchin after this
know.
movie.
Oh, I know. For anybody that doesn't
What a
know,
horrible-
Anton Yelchin died a couple weeks ago. Got
Accidentally.
a terrible way to go.
How'd he get killed?
A car. Go ahead.
His car parked in his garage. He got out to do something, and the parking brake wasn't on, and it crushed him.
But here to go
Yeah.
even worse, there was a recall on his car, that brand, because there was something wrong with the brake. It didn't go into park.
Wait.
Oh, there's the lawsuits.
It's awful, dude.
It's happened
not-
before, but
Was
not
the car
killed people?
running?
Yeah, he stopped to get his mail. So he was inside the gate. He stopped. He put it in park. Got out. Started doing something with the mail, and it just rolled back, and he couldn't get out of the way.
So it was a slow death. It was like a slow,
It's
crunching,
horrible.
suffocating death.
And it was something that
Yes,
the car
Bart.
manufacturer.
I feel worse.
They
Thanks.
knew about it, from what I understand.
I did not know this.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, those
terrible.
boys down at Bentley are going to hear it from me. I assume he was driving a Bentley. Mercedes.
Jeep. I guess these don't pay that well.
So, listen, if you're not excited about Star Trek, maybe this will help. How great is
I know,
that?
right? It's so epic. This is the 50th anniversary.
It is, and will be celebrated with Shatner and Bakula and a whole panel down at Comic-Con.
Blackula's coming?
Blackula.
That's what I heard.
Blackenstein, they'll all be there. And if you don't like that...
Oh.
Uh-oh.
This is the 09 reboot theme.
Giacchino.
Yeah.
So good.
Right? Hits you in the heart, doesn't it?
That's so good.
And then Giacchino did a redo of the original Star Trek theme for the credits. That's a killer
That was
version.
the first one I played, yeah.
Oh, was that his version?
Yeah, that was
oh,
souped up a
that's
little
great.
bit. Because the old one has the bongos.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It's a little more.
This one is a little more
Those space
orchestral.
bongos are the best.
Yeah. Did you bring James Horner?
I did not.
That's okay. I'll listen to it on the way home. That's fine.
I kept the original theme and the one we're going to have now. Yeah, you will. I know you will. All right, well, we're all going to see that.
Yeah.
Next up, another franchise entry, this one featuring Ray Romano.
You know, Paul, I was wondering, how much do you think he's worth?
Ray Romano?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. For creating and starring in Everybody Loves Raymond, he began the show at an already high $800,000 an episode. Wait, I got this, Adam.
Oh my God.
So let's say there are
We have a Fred Norris this
20.
show.
Creepy.
Let's say there are 22 episodes in a season at $800,000 an episode. All right, that's $17,600,000 for this season. Now, 8 seasons, that's $140,800,000 for 8 seasons. Well, let's not forget that the last 2 seasons of Everybody Loves Raymond, he was paid $1.8 million an episode. That's $39,600,000 per season, $79,200,000 for those last 2 seasons alone. So you take that, add it to the 8 seasons before, you have well over $200 million, and that's not including his other 40+ credits, which is additional income. Take away expenses, and you're probably looking at about $130 million. And now he's appearing in Ice Age Collision Course.
Exactly, Paul. He needs the money.
I have a feeling you want to talk about this. Let's do it. Here we go.
It's a good thing he doesn't pay taxes on that.
This is the 12th entry into the popular animated series, or maybe I'm just lumping in all the Land Before Times with it.
In Ice Age Collision Course, the Ice Age gang unthaw funny Jay Leno, who teams with Japanese Inspector Pat Morita for cop antics.
Godzilla's attacking the city. For the love of God, stay in your home. And they sent Tojo over here to investigate. Tojo? They're in there playing kabuki theater with Madame Butterfly. I ought to stir-fry your face. I don't know where you come from. I can arrest people from Japan all day long.
That goes on and on.
Sadly, Paul, that's not what happened.
Well, it's what I wish happened.
If you haven't seen an Ice Age movie, don't worry. The official description of this movie seems to have recycled the description of all of them in this hilariously generic description. Scrat's epic pursuit of the elusive acorn accidentally sets off a series of events that transform and threaten the Ice Age world. To save themselves, the Ice Age herd must embark on a quest full of comedy, adventure, traveling to exotic new lands, and encountering a host of colorful new characters.
That was the new Ice Age movie, however, that you were describing, yeah?
Doesn't matter.
No.
Scrap mistakenly sends a meteor hurtling to Earth, dooming an entire planet. This is not the first time an animated character has destroyed an entire planet, but maybe I'm giving the release of Madagascar 3 too much credit.
A big asteroid is headed this way, and the gang decides that it's up to them to stop it. But how? Well, presumably by recruiting Bruce Willis and Billy Bob Thornton to blow it up with a nuclear bomb.
Sure.
And quite frankly, that's kind of where this particular Ice Age movie breaks down. Nothing takes you out of the moment like seeing Billy Bob Thornton on the screen.
I believe this is a mathematical formula. The Friday the 13th constant, I call it, which states any series that goes long enough will eventually end up in space.
Well, looks like the climate change debate rages on. Although we're not too sure which side of the debate this particular movie is on, because this time around it's an asteroid that threatens their very existence and not some magical, mystical phenomenon like ozone or El Nino.
Titan AE's John Leguizamo, Welcome to Mooseport's Ray Romano, and National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1's Dennis Leary return as Sid, Manny, and Diego. They're joined by Scrat, Shira, Gertie, Dagwood, Marmaduke, Kathy, and Rex Morgan, MD. I think.
You know, if it weren't for these Ice Age movies, John Leguizamo wouldn't be working at all. No, wait, I think I read that wrong. What I meant to say was, if it wasn't for these Ice Age movies, John Leguizamo wouldn't be working at all.
I don't think I heard a difference.
Oh, you did. You did, Paul. And so did John Leguizamo.
But as the Macklemore song in the trailer, and every trailer, will tell you, tonight is the night. They'll fight till it's over, because they'll put their hands up like the ceiling can't hold them.
Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands.
You know, I'm worried about the upcoming generation because their music has in no way prepared them for the fact that some nights are not the night where everything will go awesome.
Eventually, the characters of Ice Age face an equatorial warming due to high CO2 levels that ushers in the Holocene epoch, which will all be detailed in the next film, Ice Age, An Inconvenient Truth. That's
The Holocene epoch is my favorite novel by
Philip Dick.
No, who's the guy who wrote Jason Bourne?
Oh, that's right. If it's not Robert Ludlum, it's definitely Ken Follett. It's a Ken Follett, the Holocene epoch. Or Dan Brown might have pulled that one out too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So
who's going to see this?
I thought this movie came out of nowhere. Did all of a sudden we need another one of these?
No.
They used to take over the July 4th weekend. I hear it is going up against Star Trek. I don't know.
It's weird, to put it out this this is a patented March release, right?
I was thinking Easter movie.
What's coming out in March?
It's so an Easter
The first
movie.
one was, but when they got bigger and sequels, they did take on July 4th. And
Didn't they know Pets just came out? Why are they bothering?
Right?
Yeah, and Dory before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an animated movie a week right now.
And what was his name?
Dang.
Who directed the Too Fast, Too Furious movies that we were talking
Justin
about?
Lin.
John Singleton.
No, Justin Lin.
John Singleton directed
Oh, okay.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
That's
Why
a
do you
movie
know
guy answer
that?
right
Fast
there.
and Furious.
He's correct.
Director of Rosewood.
But
anyway,
he didn't do this
Shaft.
one. He didn't do this one or the last one because the last one was Continental Drift. This one's Collision Course.
Wow, you know this?
oh, they're like,
But they feel very Fast and
they
Furious-y,
do,
right?
you're right.
Yeah,
You know what? You
you're
got a
right.
good
Collision
point.
course.
I would,
That's-
I would like to see more car crashes in the car chases in these Ice Age movies.
Has TBS played Collision Course with Jay Leno and Pat Morita recently?
No, but you know what has? My own personal DVD collection. I think it's thanks to you. I think you gave me.
I think I got it.
Collision
Collision
Course.
Course,
I did.
which I have watched when I was homesick once. It's a great movie.
It's
Is
kind
it
of
really?
amazing.
It's really fun. Yeah.
It's like kind of DC Cab,
Yeah.
the movie of the era. Yeah.
I had a
minute.
little bit of nostalgia listening to this.
Simon Pegg is in this?
Simon Pegg is in this. Yeah.
I love Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg Week
I
continues.
don't have to see this, though, do I? Even if I love Simon Pegg?
No.
Okay, good.
There's only did a lot of other movies you haven't
There
seen.
is
I was
no
a little
law
worried.
Seen Paul?
What's the one
I
you
did.
saw?
I like that. I love Simon
What's the one you
Pegg.
saw with Lake Bell that you enjoyed?
I don't remember the name
Man
of
Up.
it. Man
Man
Up.
Up.
What a
Everything.
great movie.
Yeah.
Lake Bell?
Yeah, I don't know.
Everything
Sure.
with Blake Bell is worth
See,
watching.
I don't know. She was
An
playing a
image on
funny
video
character. I didn't pay attention how big her
Was
boobs
she in
were.
Jag? Was that Jag?
No,
who
it's
was it?
Catherine Bell.
Lord.
The
You got half of
Bell
it right.
twins.
bells
Okay.
are ringing.
The bells are ringing with those girls.
You know, this movie, it's about the Ice Age, but I feel like it's happened longer than
been going on.
than the Ice
There must
Age.
have
Or
been
an
some
epoch.
melting in this series
Yeah.
at some point. This must be the fifth or sixth one of these, which
I'm like, really?
supposedly means I should see all of
I
them.
did see the first one. I'm such a Pixar nut. I mean, anything less than that, I kind of am spoiled by Pixar.
These have been around so long that they date back to when CGI was really bad, and now they are currently just doing bad CGI to save some money. Honestly,
Oh, that's right, because they really can't change the
never need to
look
really
of it.
up their game.
And all
remember-
these movies look loony. The Storks movie that's coming out, the Trolls movie that's coming out, they're all just like, hey, here's 100 million jokes. Angry Birds is like, it's like, let's
That's
slow
the nice
it down.
thing about Ghostbusters. They slow it down. At one point, it gets a little heavy special effectsy there, I think. But then the third time I saw it, I understood what was happening.
The finale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
but
took
I
me
mean,
a second.
But directly to the animation point, Finding Dory. I mean, did they just take their time and they know they have characters who they're going to make you care about, and not just like you kind of care about the characters, but look, jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but these people know they're competing with that. They're like, well, look, that's got all the heart. We've got to distract.
No, Ice Age.
They stand behind Finding Dory and go, whoa, hey, over here.
It's true. You're right. Ice Age has always kind of gone for jokes.
That's
I mean,
Yeah,
they got
it's their
Dennis Leary and Ray
style.
Romano.
Mhm, absolutely.
And it's a mastodon and a squirrel.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the next movie.
Now that you put it like that, Adam.
A week after Ghostbusters featured strong women persevering against all odds, in the interest of equal time, Absolutely Fabulous presents hard-drinking, promiscuous, ne'er-do-well women.
How often do they do well?
Ne'er. They ne'er do well.
I see.
Oh, God, I can't believe you're still alive.
Our thoughts exactly. Let's talk about it.
Oh, come on.
That's from the movie.
I know.
It's summertime, which means hot flashes. And nothing says hot flashes like Absolutely Fabulous, the movie.
Absolutely Fabulous, the movie continues the adventures of Adina and Patsy, the mean, shallow, alcoholic publicist and fashion editor chums, on a screen as big as their egos.
Now, if you don't know the show, then I won't sound like I looked most of this up. Absolutely Fabulous is a cult show enjoyed by gay American men and, I assume, British people that lampooned superficial, elitist, rich snobs. Kind of the Kardashians meets something you can watch for an hour and a half.
Creative Jennifer Saunders and co-star Joanna Lumley returned to the roles they created on the show that ran for 20 years in the UK. And if you don't know anything about British television, the next stat is going to make sense for you. In those 20 years, they made 39 episodes. So just 30 more years until syndication, everybody.
Unlike the BBC show, the movie isn't stuck with 4 locations and shot on whatever terrible video format they've been shooting on in Britain for 80 years. The film version takes our heroes to the most fashionable sections of London, where they commit a huge fashion faux pas. They kill Kate Moss.
And there was much rejoicing.
Now, I don't want to say that the British tend to react, but apparently getting Kate Moss wet is a national incident.
Getting Kate Moss wet, well, that's more than Johnny Depp could ever say.
Then they
I've been wanting that drop for so long.
It's amazing. Then they end up on the run, Brexiting to the French Riviera, where, like the zebra, their stripes of boozy pretension will blend in.
The most shocking thing about the Ab Fab duo, after
Yes.
25 years of them smoking and drinking, their livers and lungs haven't caught up with them.
Paul, look, if you're worried about plot, then maybe this movie isn't for you. But if you want to have a good time and forget about how the whole world is going to hell, well, then you can't beat watching a couple of drunk British broads stumble around quipping funny lines with a funny accent.
If we American audiences learn one thing from British sitcoms, it's that we don't really need to understand what people are saying as long as they're saying it with a funny accent.
Now save your breath for could your parts. Hey, look, she wants a heck of 2 roof lights, the stylish house frame furniture, and the Scar cushions with matching shack by cover.
There you go. What he said.
It sounds like there's a dog panting in the background.
There is.
It's like,
Now, the way these people say stuff is just hilarious. I honestly do not understand. I went and watched a couple clips today. I don't understand what they're saying most of the time, but the way they say it is always funny. You can take any other serious script and have John Cleese say it, and it's just a scream.
It's funnier, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I know you guys probably won't see this, so I'll go and
Probably
see it
not.
and give you a full report. But I like these ladies. I think they're fun.
Well, this made me want to watch the show. I'd watch the show. I don't know if I go see this movie.
I worked with this director who, now that I put it together, really reminds me of this. The lady at Downey who's, darling, sweetie, darling. Darling, here's what we need to do.
Marsha.
We need to, darling, yes. You need to speak faster, louder, and just face down stage. You're like, oh, all right, Marsha.
Face down on the stage?
Face down on the stage, darling. Darling, just move down stage.
She does a lot of that, right?
You know,
like,
you know.
The character Jennifer
Oh, yeah.
Saunders in this. Like, when Kate Moss dies, Kate, she's,
You know. She just sort of whittles down to,
Do you think the British people think it's funny the way they sound? Because I agree with Adam.
yeah.
There are some lines in that are just absolute,
So dry.
They're dry and they're just custodial lines. They're just moving the plot along, but they sound funny.
Yeah, it just makes me laugh. Dry and droll. And
I'm wondering if the British hear that same sense of humor in it.
Yeah, or does that just come off like,
oh, that's a
"Hi,
line of
how are
dialogue.
you?"
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
You guys made a joke in the script about how it's like the Kardashians, and in a way, this was so interesting that it's before the time of when we actually had reality TV, and the idea of all this excess was acceptable. So when these two did these characters, they were so ridiculous, and now it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it was very un-PC
That's
when they
crazy,
started, but
yeah.
now it's like, we
they
know
just-
people like this.
So it's become in style, oddly enough.
By the way, to that last point, though, I've heard people from other countries laugh at when Americans get very American. Like if you hear someone from Britain do an American accent or some foreign country, they will hit they will talk like this. They will get the, and so
you gotta bring ours in. Just bring in ours, and
whenever you do
way.
kind of talk in a particular way like that, people from other countries will kind of. Think
I've always wondered how people in other countries and other languages make fun of English. So we can make gibberish Japanese, we can do gibberish Chinese with just nonsensical words, but how do you mimic nonsensical words in English? And somebody once said, I think Matt Larson, movie guy, friend of the show, Matt Larson said that people in foreign countries will just go hern, 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 and that's their impression of Americans instead of like ching chong, bong, gong, gong, when we do hern, 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 hern. It was hern, 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 hern.
Sounds like our show every week.
I've worked up at Universal Studios, and it's funny when you hear the foreign language announcement for a show that's starting. Starting in 10 minutes, Waterworld. Then you hear Waterworld, Sea War Spectacular.
Hern, 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 hern.
All right, let's get to our final movie of the big weekend. Counter-programming week hits for the cycle, adding a horror movie to the female-oriented British sitcom and animated children's movie, all falling under the description of not Star Trek. It's Lights Out. Adam?
Lights out. Blast, blast, blast. Lights out. Blast, blast, blast.
James Wan, the director of The Conjuring and Saw, sets a new standard for low budgets by making the plot of Lights Out revolve around not lighting a movie.
In a plot as relevant as the 2016 presidential race, a malevolent spirit invades a household, keeps them up at night, and refuses to leave.
Teresa Palmer plays Rebecca, a single mother with a bit of a haunted childhood. And when she discovers her brother is experiencing the same haunting she did, well, then it's time for Mom to spring into action and lay down some super parenting on her son.
I want to tell you a story. Long time ago, I had a friend named Diana.
Now that's the mother, right, I think. That's Teresa Palmer's mother, played by Maria Bello.
Okay. Maybe. I thought so, but all the last names are different on IMDb. I don't know. It got confusing. The kid's not her kid.
The point of the joke is they're related, and she scares the crap out of him while she's trying to calm him down.
There you go.
She's literally like, whatever you do not turn the lights out. All right, let's hit it. Let's go. Let's get to bed.
That's like my mom.
Thanks either sis or mom, right?
The child will never close his eyes again.
Somebody is not being good to this kid. I don't know if it's his mother, his sister, but you just don't do that. That's the point.
Okay, right before you go to bed, let me just throw this at you.
But she came back. She's gonna stay.
Here you go.
As long as you keep the lights out.
Holy
Good night.
wow.
Good night.
Good night.
Jeez. I was afraid
I'm
of the
terrible
dark.
at this. Good night.
Don't let the bed butts bite.
Calm and reassuring. All right.
Whew, okay. Lights Out from Keep It Simple, Stupid Productions is a movie made out of one scary gimmick. When you turn the lights out, a spooky silhouette appears, only to disappear as soon as you turn the lights back on. Then, when you turn them out again, the spooky silhouette reappears. And every time you turn the lights out and then back on again, the spooky silhouette gets closer and closer to you.
I think I know how to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Oh, no time for that. Let's play a clip.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding. Here's an
That's
actual
not
clip
a
from the
clip.
movie.
Oh, okay.
Here's an actual clip from the movie.
This is an actual clip. All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're guessing that it'll pretty much be 2 hours of that.
All right. So now there's got to be more to this movie than that, I imagine, right?
Really? You think so? Here's another clip, completely chosen at random.
At random. Okay. Here we go. All right. Now.
Oh my god.
Now, remember, we're spoiler-free shows, so if you don't want this movie to be spoiled for you, do not listen to this next clip.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I hope I didn't give anything away there.
Joss Whedon has criticized horror films for devolving into torture porn, but with this film, at least you're getting pervy torture porn. You know, the kind where a male writer, male director, team of male producers all make a movie where women and children are frightened.
Nothing makes a horror movie creepier than a slow, creepily sung version of a classic rock song, and this trailer is no exception.
It's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Now, although the lyrics to this Buffalo Springfield song, Stop Children, What's That Sound, are actually a great match for a horror movie, you know, this could be because the original song was also from a horror movie, the Vietnam War.
So let's check off the modern-day scary movie checklist, shall we? Single mom.
Check.
Child possessed or haunted.
Check.
Big spooky house.
Check.
Oh, lastly, do we have a shot of someone getting sucked away from the camera?
Check.
Hey, it's a scary movie. Congratulations,
Hey,
movie.
well done, movie. That's the thing. If you got someone being sucked away into darkness, that's the horror movie. And the creepy song, of course. These are requirements nowadays.
There's there's a great scene in Ghostbusters where the ghost gets hit by a train, and Leslie Jones goes, "Well, I guess he's going to Brooklyn.
I guess he's going to Queens.
Queens. He's going to be the third scariest thing on that train." I immediately thought of you, Adam.
Oh, it's very funny. Yeah.
All right, well, that's Lights Out.
Adam's usually the third scariest thing on a train.
All right, well, we have enough of these movies. We have entirely new nonsense to get on with, and that involves our guest, an actor who's been on Twin Peaks and films like Captain Phillips and Whiplash, Chris Mulkey, and he'll be back with us here in just a moment.
Hey, you got that right. I got the people to meet. Finding myself every day more complete. I got no money in my pocket, but I know I'm on my way.
That is the music of our guest today. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. But our guest is an actor who's been on Twin Peaks and films like Captain Phillips and Whiplash. Chris Mulkey is with us.
Hey. Nice to be here in Burbank.
Yeah.
There's the official.
Thank you.
So I just want to get this out of the way.
Uh-oh.
Go.
A lot of people come up to you and they go, "Loved you in American Pie." No, I loved you in American Beauty. Loved you in... They think you're Chris Cooper. You get that?
Yep, I do.
Thinking man's Chris Cooper.
Yes, but I'm a foot taller than he is, and I'm funny.
Well, you're
that's
hilarious.
true.
But I once pretended to be Daniel Day-Lewis, who is a foot taller than me, and that didn't bother anybody.
I have to confess to you that one time I was in an Irish bar, and I was drinking with my friends, and these two girls came up and said, oh my God, I know who you are. I know. I said, well, that's great. It's nice to meet you. She says, Chris Cooper. I said, I'm really. She said, no. Then she rambled off a bunch of Chris Cooper things, and she said, I just want to buy you and your friend a drink. And I went, yeah, I am Chris Cooper. She said, what do you have? I said, we'll have 2 whiskeys and 2 pints of beer.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
That's
So
how
I
it should
pimped
be.
myself. I'm just whoring for glory, and that's just the way
But
it
you're
is.
every bit as accomplished as he is, which is hilarious because they're mistaking you for the famous person that you are.
I'm sure, I'll bet you a box of donuts, plain or assorted, that he gets the same thing. It drives him freaking nuts. But we're so different in our work, it's amazing. So,
Have you ever worked with him?
No. How could I? It'd
They'd have to play brothers.
No, it'd be the Mirror Show or something like that.
You didn't do that remake of Carbon Copy or anything?
We walk alike, we talk alike. I did it. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Well, you do have 217 IMDb credits, which might be the record in this.
Yeah.
We had Beth
Really?
Grant, and you know Beth Grant?
Yeah.
She had over 200.
Really? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go to Miami and do Bruno and Naomi's Blind Date. I'm doing that movie.
Sounds like a porno.
Check a cow now. No, it's not. I play an INS. I do have this for you.
I saw you were growing some facial hair.
I have a porno stash.
Nice. That's why I was wondering about that being a porno.
Well, it's Miami. It's just kind
So
of.
that's to play a INS agent?
I play an INS agent. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Do they give you stunt pay for the mustache? Do you get paid extra?
This is called a flavor saver.
Oh.
It's not really a
Explain.
mustache.
Again, not a porn movie.
Don't have it explained, Karen. Bestie doesn't.
You guys
Just
are bad.
figured it out.
You
Thank
guys are
you.
bad. But I just did a scary movie with Diablo Films. They were some of the guys that I did a movie called The Purge with.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, so they did this movie called Slumber, where I ran this hospital where you can check in, but you can't check out.
Oh, are you like an evil doctor?
I'm such an evil doctor.
Oh! Is it
They're
fun
all
playing that?
No, check it out. They're all coma patients, right? And they bring them in, then we just eat their brains. It's fantastic. And the people go, Mulkey, why would you do that? You've been in 2 Academy Award winners movies. It's Hollywood, dude. Swing the bat. Come on now.
That sounds amazing. How is Marcus Nispel? We haven't talked to him in a while.
Fabulous.
Just assume he would have
Fabulous.
made that.
Fabulous. We had cocktails.
What is that? That's Michael Bay's company. He usually works with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, I just keep swinging it. It's good.
Yeah, it looks like 5 or 6 productions right now you're involved in, are either announced or in pre-production, all that at the very top of the thing. So yeah, still working.
I had a couple of years ago where I did 11 movies in 1 year, and I won the Hollywood Hog of the Year award.
Good. Somebody we know should.
Yeah.
That
and a
means
bunch
you
of people
were...
that look somewhat like you going, come on, man.
That guy again.
Chris Cooper sitting in the back like,
Haven't seen him in a while.
All right, give me the trick chair. I almost fell off backwards.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's a good joke.
So I've always been curious about working on a horror movie because I assume that it's not dark and spooky and scary while you're shooting it.
That's true.
What is the mindset that you have to get into? I think comedy's easy to get into when you're on set, and maybe action adventure's even easier. But here you're in this totally dark place, but I'm assuming it's lit. I'm assuming there's a bunch of people standing around.
No, it's completely terrifying.
Is it?
The drive, just the drive to the studio is terrifying. You get out of your car and this is Chris, what? You know, and then okay, I'm fine. And you walk inside, and then you sit down in your dressing room, and all of a sudden the door closes. You know, it's terrifying. The whole time is terrifying. Yeah,
Is it written up?
No, it's.
I'm asking a serious question, Chris.
There's craft services.
Some directors are so serious. Do they make you murder someone before you actually come to the set? You're in that mindset.
I have taken lives. I've
eaten brains.
Yes, I've eaten brains. I ate monkey brains in preparation for the slumber, which was but they were really nice to me and helped me out at the. I want to thank the LA County Zoo because I ate monkey brains there, and that was great. You know, but that's my tax stuff at work.
Yeah, they got more monkeys than they know what to do with.
Or let's go back.
It's usually a studio that's got more monkeys than they know what to do with. Yes.
Let's go back to First Blood.
Yes, let's go back.
First Blood. I mean, legendary.
Let's go back to First
movie.
Blood now.
Seattle, Washington, right?
No, Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, Vancouver.
I got a story about that. Go?
Yeah.
Go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, please, go. Go on this
Children, let's all join hands. So I just done a film with Brian Dennehy down in Mexico, right? And so then we get cast in the same film, and so I'm going, yeah, this is cool. My wife was pregnant, you know, and I was going, this is going to be this because it's with Sylvester Stallone, you know, Sly Adrian. So anyhow, so I fly up there and I arrive in Vancouver, and the guy picks me up with the van. They take me out to Hope, BC, which is this little goofy little town in the Fraser River Canyon where we shot all the action stuff. And I get out of the van, and there's Brian, and he goes, Mulkey, did you see Kirk Douglas? And I went, Kirk Douglas is in this movie? He says, well, he was. I said, really? I didn't know he was in it. He said, yeah, he was going to play the Colonel. But he and Sly got in this huge fight because Sly rewrote the script and focused it all on Rambo instead of the Colonel. And so he told Sly to go doink himself and got in the same van that took you from the airport. That he rode. So I rode. So I sat in the warm seat that was warmed by Kirk Douglas.
Hollywood legend ass of Hollywood legend.
Yeah, ass warmth. You know, I mean, if you can't have actually like shake someone's hand, ass warmth is just shared.
That Kirk Douglas ass warmth may have been the career extender that you've enjoyed up till now.
Good. Yeah. So then
he's in his 90s, right?
Yeah. And I was freaking out. Oh no! Usually when that happens is that the movie goes down, then it gets in turnaround, and everybody goes home and blah blah blah. But then Lynn Stallmaster, the casting director, reached out to
Richard Crenna.
No, he did not to Richard Crenna. Bill, the guy from Knox Landing, William Duvall. No, not
Devane.
Devane. Yeah. And he said, Devane, we'll give you $250,000. Come up and play the Colonel. He says, great. So he goes to Ted Kotcheff, the director, said, we got Bill Devane for $250,000. He says, I have final casting approval on this thing. I don't want Bill Devane, who's a wonderful actor. He's a wonderful actor.
Oh, yeah.
So pay him his $250,000. Let's get somebody else.
Wait,
so he didn't
pay or
even
play? Wow.
Oh, wait. Bill Devane got paid not to be Troutman?
Mm-hmm,
Oh
exactly.
my God!
Rolling Thunder's Bill Devane.
Yeah, and then he came up, and then Richard Crenna came up, and he was great. And then a couple of years later, my wife Karen Landry went down to Mexico and did On the Wings of Eagles with Richard Crenna and Burt Lancaster, and that really fried my grits because I think Burt Lancaster was like one of the legends. I would have. Oh yeah. I wanted some ass warmth from.
I was gonna say. I wondered if she got his ass warmth.
I'm sure.
Probably. She'd probably. Here, Karen, come on over. It's a joke. Sit on my lap, okay? No, anyhow. So that's my Kirk Douglas Rambo First Blood story.
So who are you in First Blood? You're one
I play Deputy Ward, who fingerprints Rambo in the first thing.
Yes.
He won't let me finger.
Oh yeah, you get no.
Yeah.
Will, he won't let me fingerprint him. Try harder. Get your hand on it.
Yes.
And then we go inside.
it so well.
And then I pull the knife on him and I say, "We're going to shave you now. I hate to cut your throat." And then I turn into the Viet Cong guy. And then we fight, and then we go out. We chase him out through the woods and chase him everywhere.
Yeah. So you were in all the action sequences.
Mm-hmm.
When do you get killed in the movie?
I got tied to a tree, and then he flew.
Fair question for anybody in a Stallone movie.
Yeah.
When do you get killed in the movie?
What was your death?
I got tied to a tree, and then first of all, he jumps me in the forest and breaks.
Oh, he comes
my
out of
arm.
the tree and lands on top of you.
Yeah,
that's you.
Okay.
Okay.
Bang, yeah. And then he ties me to a tree, and then I go, Will, and then Will.
Yeah, you're a
turns
decoy
around.
to bring in the other
Yeah,
guys.
and then
Yeah.
I'm like the goat in the cage, the alligator to trap the golden alligator from the Nile. That's another movie. Anyhow, so yeah, Rambo First Blood. That's the short story of that.
Awesome.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but now it deserves a reviewing.
Oh, yeah.
And my
It's
daughter,
like a Mulkey watch.
Yeah. My daughter Amelia was born on the set, basically.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it was a cool film, and I remember Brian Denny. He said, "Mulkey, if this movie makes a nickel, I'll eat my hat."
Wow.
Oh.
Happy dining.
Yeah.
So let's blow through your IMDb here. Let's see.
Yeah, oh, God, jeez.
What do we have? MASH, Charlie's Angels,
It's
Walton's,
just like with
White
that audition
Shadow,
where people make you
Chips.
do
Mash.
something from it.
Chips. All right, it's 48 hours.
Oh.
48 hours. Wow.
One of the legends.
Yeah.
Another great movie.
Yeah, I was up at my lake place, and I'd done another movie with Walter Hill called Long Riders. With all the brothers, the Carradines, the Keaches, the Quaids, and so they called me up and said, "Mulkey, will you come play a cop in the movie?" So I flew out from my lake place in Minnesota, and I spent 48 hours working on the movie 48 Hours.
That's perfect.
And then I flew back to my lake place.
That's awesome.
Now, when did you die in that movie?
I didn't. I didn't.
what?
No, but I gave Nick Nolte and that young deputy of his, the funny guy. Who was that funny guy, right?
That untested Saturday Night Live
actor. I gave him a good dressing up. I'll tell you that. So that was me and Bill Cross scream up and jack them up and stuff like that. It's fun.
Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Dukes of Hazzard, Magnum P.I., Remington Steele.
Remington Steele.
Gary Shandling
Love
Show.
that show.
Gary Shandling.
The Hidden.
The Hidden. Oh man, Jack Shoulder.
What an under-seen movie by many people.
Oh man, we won the.
You don't know The Hidden, Adam?
No.
Oh, worth checking
I don't
out.
either.
We won the World Science Fiction Award that year. We snatched it from the jaws of RoboCop. This little movie, I think it was like ours was like a $5 million movie. RoboCop was like, $45-50 million movie, and that was just what, So
Is that the Robert Shea Days of New Line Cinema?
Bob Shea, Bob Shea's a buddy of mine. I did another movie called Quiet Cool with Bob that was really cool about.
Oh, with James Remar?
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, he's cool.
Is there like and please just tell me yes, even if there isn't, just a club where like Michael Ironside and James Remar.
Please tell me.
And all these guys hang out. And you and all these guys hang out.
Yeah,
and just reflect on awesomeness.
It's kind of there's kind of a little club of us that we all bump into each other in these kind of clumps. So you look around and you go, geez, look at all these people. You're the thing. I did the movie with you and your fucking damn things. Just like anecdotes are flying. You get a bloody nose. They're flying around so much. It's crazy.
Commando villains and Cobra villains.
Oh my God! Didn't I kill you? I'm at the. This is great. So I'm at an Academy Awards like soiree, and where they can drink all you want. And I try not to do that. And in Beverly Hills somewhere. Oh God, And anyhow, I'm in the place, and Ethan Hawke walks in, and we did the Purge together, and he goes, Mulkey, and I go, Ethan, what's up? And he comes up, slapping the back. I said, man, can you believe how much money that thing made? Oh yeah, it was great. I said they're doing the second one. I mean, are you doing it? And he looked at me, and said, dude, you don't remember? You killed me in the first one. You shot me. I'm dead. What are you talking about? God. I said, I need it. Can I get you a drink?
That's awesome.
It's just the worst.
I love the Blumhouse movies. That's such a. I love their very tight production style, and it's just any experience. Anything interesting about that? how those movies are created. Is it too cheap? Is it too?
It's
too
really
efficient?
fast. It's really
Yeah,
it's really
they really
fast.
shoot really
There's a lot of velocity behind them, and I really like that. You know, I like the fast stuff. On Boardwalk Empire, we were so slow. Oh my God, the lighting things were like all too precious.
Like, how long was the production schedule for Purge?
For the Purge, for the Purge, maybe 5 weeks, and we all did it in one place. And Lena, now I've done 2 movies with Game of Thrones. Lena Headey was in the Purge, right? And I just finished another movie called Blood Mountain.
Nice name.
With Emilia Clarke, who plays Khaleesi. So I worked with the 2 queens from Game of Thrones.
Me Before You.
Yes.
Yes.
She was just in
I know
that
her
as
from
well.
the romantic
Crimson
comedy.
Peak would have made more money if it was called Blood Mountain.
There you go.
Wow.
Crimson Peak's a fancy name for Blood Mountain.
Wow, that's amazing. So I don't know. I've done 3 movies with with David Silverman, and he did one of them, The Purge, okay, and then we did we just did Message from the King, which is a really cool movie. And what was the third one I did? I've done 3 that made a lot of. I don't know.
You have 217. I mean,
have you got Twin Peaks?
What did I do? I did 3 of them. Done 3 of them, and he says, "Mulkey, I'm a guy." I don't know. Anyhow, but I get a cool movie coming out in the fall called Message from the King with Chadwick Boseman. You know, guy
what is
did
this?
Get
Black
On Up.
Panther. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's cool. I play the mayor of L.A.
Oh, great. Good for you.
Yeah. Black Panther and
Jackie Robbins.
Yeah, and
Jackie
And
Robbins.
James Brown.
And James Brown.
Bozeman's no
That's pretty
joke,
cool.
man. He's really
James
good.
Brown, y'all.
Yeah.
James Brown.
Y'all.
Yeah,
That
that's
he
cool.
is. He goes crazy about that woman wanting to go to the bathroom. That guy.
Yep.
Wow, he's amazing.
That guy. Okay, so let's jump to Twin Peaks because
Oh.
you
Are
were
you tired of talking about it?
No.
Do people recognize you mostly from Twin Peaks? Because
it
it's
goes-
rabid fans.
Sometimes people come out of the nowhere and recognize me from like really jacked stuff. It's really is crazy.
Yeah.
But Twin Peaks was really seminal. I told my manager, they called me up and they said, "Do you have a reading for Twin Peaks?" And I said, Eraserhead made no sense to me. I don't know who this guy David
Doesn't
Lynch
make
is.
sense.
And so
with a passion.
Is it, I mean, and I was loaded when I went to see it. I rolled a big fatty.
That should have helped.
Yeah, right.
I know, but it didn't. I didn't. And so I said, I'm not going. And so they called me up at 10 o'clock in the morning. You have at 12 o'clock in the morning. I said, I'm going to go run now. Think about it. And then they called me up at I get back from my run. Are you going? I went, all right. Well, I was going because they had me read for 2 different characters, Jacques, the Cajun guy, and Hank Jennings, right? And I'm going, dude, they're not even serious. They're having me read for the 2 completely. Having me read for the squirrel and the brontosaurus. You know what I mean? Right? Like you were saying before, it was really funny. It was really funny. Made me laugh. And so I'm going there, and oh no! And so I go in, and Jacques Haken, he so anyhow, he's a cinematographer, but. What's his name? Walter Okowitz. So Walter's sitting there and he hates it when I tell this story, but it's true. So bear it, because he always goes, "I didn't need your help getting the part." And you're right, you didn't, because you're a wonderful actor. So anyhow, we're both sitting on the leather couches that sit and suck your ass into the thing, and you look like an 8-year-old guy on these old dying casting couches. So Mulkey, come in. So I go, okay, I'm going in. So we have, which part would you like to read first? And I said, I'm only gonna read Hank Jennings because I know this guy Steve who did 13 years in San Quentin, and that's who I modeled Hank Jennings after.
Because in the show you just got out of prison.
Yeah. So
in fact, you're not in the first couple episodes, I don't think, right?
Yeah. No, I come in the 4th. I missed the first 3 because I was in the joint. So anyhow, I said, he said, what about the Cajun guy? I said, I'm not reading for the Cajun guy because the Cajun guy, he's sitting out there. It's Walter Okowitz. I'm not going to get that part. That's that guy. He hates that when I say it, but I do. And so then I read Hank, and I'm saying, so if you liked it, I'll see you. And if I don't, you don't, well, I'll go play more basketball down in Venice. Anyhow, so they hired me, which I'm really grateful for. It was a great group of actors, and it was really there was a scary spirit. Seriously, what you're talking about? There was a scary vibe on the set And all through both seasons, there was this scary kind of malevolent, kind of I don't know what's going on here vibe in the studio, even on all the sets. But I was really happy that Mark Frost and David Lynch and all those guys had me on. And it was,
how much was shot on a location? Anything?
We didn't after the pilot. You know, we shot everything at La Cañada or Lake Malibu all in Van Nuys and the stuff. It was just amazing. It was amazing thing.
Does David Lynch talk like we think he talks when he directs you?
Adam?
Chris, what I would like you to do for this next scene
That's pretty good.
is the one impersonation that I do, and I just love that a guy who creates the things that he creates sounds like this. I love when he does the weather report. Do you ever go to his YouTube page and have him do that? He used to, I don't know if he does it anymore. He used to do the weather, and literally every day he would go, and now the weather, and he would lean back on his porch and he would go, it's a sunny day, it's pretty nice, not many clouds, and that's the weather report.
I love it.
Were you directed by him? Because I know there's a bunch of directors on the show.
I did. We ran them through. You know, it was good. We had our stalwart directors, but there was one guy that came in from. There's one guy that director.
You're gonna like him. He's a good guy. I can't do it. I have to go.
And it's like we're in the middle of the second season. We've all been doing this stuff for like almost 2 years now. And this guy comes in. He goes, "Okay, Chris, here's how I see your character." And I'm going. I said, "Really?" I said, Dick, look. I mean.
That wasn't his name. He just said, "Dick, look."
Dick.
Thank you. I said, maybe you want to maybe just want to like watch what I do in the rehearsal and see if before we get off into directing me, because I haven't done shizzle for you yet. You know what I mean? And so he heard that and picked on another actor and left me alone. It was fabulous.
Thank you. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get into a little thing where I'm like, I just don't want to hear what they have to say.
No, let me just shoot. Let me just start.
Let me start.
Here's what I want to know. Yeah. How good were things in your life at the time that this audition came up that you went, I might not do it. And then you went in and said, no, here's what I'm going to read for.
You'd already done 100
the balls.
Let me see.
How good was your life at the time to have that confidence? Because I'm imagining everybody else in this room would be like, I'll read for everything. Everything I'll read for it.
I wouldn't. The funny thing is, I guess, I don't know. You just kind of feel like, what the hey? But I'd done a bunch of stuff, and I've written and produced movies. I won Sundance twice, with movies I'd done, and it's like, I'm cool,
So you felt like you professionally were at a point where you could do that because you knew this wasn't going to be the end-all, be-all of Chris Mulkey's next job, right?
No. I mean, even if I just didn't want to get, I didn't want to get run around the block, necessarily.
But it's also the attitude that Hank would have. I think that's why you got
that
it,
too.
right? You're like, I don't need this, whatever.
I totally agree. And the fact that you're casting people outside, you're like, whatever.
Oh, and I've got mysterious reasons why I'm not interested. Aren't you interested in what those are?
But I'm really not. But I'm really generally. I mean, I'm always. I show up on time. I know my stuff, and I'm nice. 99.999% of the time. So I go to this. I did this. What was the name? It was Max von Sydow.
Oh my God.
Christopher. What the hell?
Lambert.
What the hell was the name of that movie?
Flash Gordon.
I don't know.
Hold on, let me look it up.
So I go to this. I go to this audition for this thing, right? And it was Dennis Quaid was in this thing too. It was like
Dreamscape.
Dreamscape.
Yeah, you were in Dreamscape.
Nice, nicely done.
Wow, you're on the right show.
I have that down here because that's one of the first big old.
Good.
That's one of the first big PG-13 movies.
Yes,
so I knew you're in another landmark film there.
Yeah, that was wild. And so I go to the audition, and I go in, and Peter Jason was in there, and. Peter Jason, this guy. Hey, Mulkey, what's going on? Because we had done the Walter Hill film. We'd done 2 Walter Hill films. And, what's going on, Mulkey? We think we're going to get this piece of shit? Okay. I didn't say that word. And so then I go, okay, great. So I go in, I walk in, and I sit down, and there's this guy, Bruce Cohen Curtis, this guy in a camel hair suit behind this thing is very nice, And he looks at me and he goes, I sit down and say, hey, how you doing? And it's blah, blah, blah. I say, Joe Rubin, I knew Joe, the director. And he goes, he looks at me, and he paused, and he goes, it's not going to work. I go, what's not going to work? He said, no, that's fine. Thank you for coming in. It's not going to work. I said, wait a minute.
What?
I drove across town. I learned I learned everything. I learned everything. I'd learn everything, you know. I said, I'm ready to go. Let's do this thing. He says, no. I said, so I blew, and I said, listen, you little frame timber, and it just, you know, I just let it fly. And Joanna Ray, the casting director, is going, oh, geez, what, Mulkey, no. And I'm going, no, I don't get on. Come on, wah. And then I got tired, and I went, and the Bruce goes, are you done? And I said, yeah, pretty much. And he goes, you piece of Dominican, and he throws it right back at me, just like, you make a man. And I went, and he's done. And I went, I guess we're cool now. Okay, thanks. Okay, so then I leave. So a week later, I get a call back. He says, they said they want to see you on Dreamscape. I went, what?
What?
I went, what? So I show up there, and I walk in the room, and there's 30 guys in the room, all look like me, all dressed like me, and Peter Jason. Mulkey, what the hell are we doing here? I don't know. I told him to go screw himself. He's got me back here. All of a sudden, the doors open up like Holy Grail. Oh, they walk out. Joanna Ray, Bruce Cohen Curtis, about 5 feet tall, and Joe Rubin, and they go, and Bruce goes, I'd like to thank you all for coming here today. You can all go home. We're not meeting with anyone except Jason and Chris. Come into the office. And we walked in, and he said, "You're hired."
Oh my gosh!
What the hell?
Is that just like a big power play because he can do that?
I don't know. We had a great time in the movie. The movie did really well.
You don't care. You were invited into the room.
Yeah, I got to kill Max von Sydow in the movie, which was really cool.
A lot of people want to.
And Christopher, and worked with Christopher Plummer. Yeah.
Kate Capshaw's in that film too.
Kate Capshaw, yeah, I was
legendary.
Prime Kate Capshaw.
Yeah, she is great. I loved her. Yeah, she was terrific. I was, if I hadn't been married, which I was, I would have asked her.
Got
out.
some of her seat warmth.
I would have. Yeah, I would have.
That is our new euphemism.
So
Give me some seat warmth.
You can see that seat warmth.
Wow, Max von Sydow and
Wait, I want to get one more Twin Peaks question in before we then jump way ahead. What kind of fan? Did you ever have a fan encounter, or did they have things like Comic-Con back then, or fan fests that you were involved in?
Yeah, I've gone to the Twin Peaks Fest. It's always really nice. Yeah. I've gone. I went a couple of years ago. I'm going to London, the one they got over in Europe.
Oh, the London, not Ontario?
Yeah, no, the one they got over in Europe. Yeah,
nice.
in the old England, because we got a New England here, but they got the old one.
The original England.
It's like the Mexicos.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the old England.
Nice.
In November for a Twin Peaks thing over there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. I don't know.
That'll be right about the time they reboot it.
Yeah.
And they bring it back. David brings back the show again.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're shooting. Were you invited to shoot?
Everybody says I'm like up for. I'm supposed to be in
they're
it.
not
but
shooting it yet.
I don't know. I mean, how am I going to look like that again? I look like this now.
Get your leather jacket.
Everybody looks like that.
Everybody does. It's just time warp.
Now I have one more Twin Peaks question personally because it's something I've always wondered about that show, and you might be the perfect person to ask because your character might have the most sort of things that are referenced that didn't end up coming back, like you have the domino or there's all these little symbols and all these sort of. I wondered about that show if David Lynch and Mark Frost were addicted to possible starts for future things that might come back to just throw something out and go, we don't know where that's going just yet, but somewhere down the line that will end up meaning something. It just seems like there were a lot of things of like, oh, we'll give you this and this little mysterious past and this little thing and we'll have it so that you tried to kill somebody, which put your character in jail, but some of those things never really came back. Or the symbols never ended up being fully realized. And I just often wondered about that show because I know how David Lynch's creativity works. I've read some of his books and stuff like that. That I think it's more like, well, I'm just going to put this symbol here, and maybe down the line, some other piece of creativity will come to me. They'll go, oh, that's what the domino means.
That's true. But also when you throw in that iconography in a thing, it has its own resonance and makes people think about other stuff.
Yeah.
And so that deepens the groove of the storyline, and then you can either reference it or not, or just use it as a huge coloring thing.
You're absolutely right, because somebody will put their thoughts onto it, and then they add that part of their story. That's really smart.
So many people have come up to me and like laid out the whole thing about the domino, and me it One-Eyed Jacks and
Yeah.
why they called it One-Eyed Jacks and
Yeah.
all this stuff. But I'm supposed to be in the back 9 for that thing. That's what they say. So
That would be
it
great.
Cool. So it'd be
Cool.
good.
Oh, that'd be
Awesome.
awesome.
We
I'd be
have
up
a
for it.
Penis, right? One-Eyed Jack's penis. Twin Peaks, boobs. One-Eyed Jack's
Probably.
penis.
We have a friend who loves Twin Peaks, and we were here, and we were just watching the preview. And once you hear that music, you're there. You're immediately there. You're like,
Can't wait
let's
to
go.
hear it again.
Oh,
All right, so I want to jump ahead. Let's see. Murder,
yes.
She Wrote, Grace Under Fire, Broken Arrow, Walker, Texas Ranger, Touched by an Angel. Okay, Batman Beyond.
Shreve.
I want to jump way ahead. Just get right to Captain Phillips.
Captain
Because you were in
Phillips.
back-to-back my favorite movies 2 years in a row. My favorite film of the 2013, Captain Phillips. My favorite film of 2014, Whiplash. So let's talk about Captain Phillips, because I also think I'm writing an article about this for the website, themovieguys.net. I'm exploring what directors have perfect records. Alexander Payne is one, I think.
Definitely. Oh, man.
And then the other one is Paul Greengrass.
Paul Greengrass is really good.
And the director of Whiplash.
And
Damien Chazelle, yeah, but that's it, right?
Well, anyway, I'm just saying.
So
and
far,
the
so
short
good.
it's based on.
Yeah.
But Greengrass, his films are so raw, like they look like the camera just happened to be there. So what is his directing style?
Wow. We had a saying that we shot in Malta, and that was another movie, by the way. I believe I said I found, and my wife found it on it was put out on breakdowns. This thing, and my father was a mariner, and went to sea and sailed around the world.
Oh, yeah, did you play with Ken Griffey?
Say what?
Sorry, never mind. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you mean, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, third base. Anyhow, so go the right-hander. No, anyhow, so she found it, and then they sent me. I read it, and it was cool, and they sent me the sides to read, and it was like. It's like 3 lines, and I'm going, dude, I'm not going.
I'm not driving there and parking.
This is a tactic at this point. I know exactly what this game is at this point.
And so I said, I mean, is it like, I don't know. And she said, no, Franny Mazer is great. I said, no, I know Franny Mazer, the casting director, is really great, but I just I don't want to go in there and just say 2 lines. No, okay, go. All right, I'll go. So I learned my stuff. I'm gonna go in there, and Walter Oakowitz wasn't there, and so then we did the thing, and she said, you can improvise, and I went, dude, all right, well, we're on now. So then I improvised some stuff, and I said it was pretty funny stuff, but the crux of it was that she said, well. Do you have any stories? And I said, yeah. Well, I told the story about my father being captured with the Japanese in World War II.
Ooh.
And so I told that story. And so anyhow, he hired me, and it was great.
And then he hired me, because why not?
But then we had a thing. The deal was that it wasn't enough to have to audition for the movie. You had to audition to stay in the movie. That was the deal.
What does that mean?
Well, things changed. It changed. So do that. If this is too long anecdotes, okay.
No.
So I'm pretty good at this.
I love this movie.
It's a great movie.
But so we're at sea. We're off the coast of Malta, and there's pretty heavy seas, but we're in a really big. We're in a big ship. I used to say, I'd go and said, hey, how's the boat today, Kurt? He's the first engineer. He says, this isn't boat. This is ship.
Yeah.
Where is men with sweaty oars, okay? Then you drum, boom, boom, but that is a boat. This is ship. Anyhow, I go on, we're there, and there's heavy seas.
Was
so
it all location shot? Were there any sets?
Yeah, we're at sea.
They're in a ship.
Well, I heard that there was definitely a set for the lifeboat that Tom Hanks was in with the
there was a gimbal.
with
We
the
did-
pirates.
we did
but
that.
you never made your way into that.
No, well, we did that. Some of that in England, but so anyhow, so we're doing this. So we're at sea. We're doing the stuff in the room where I argue with the captain about I don't want to be a soldier, right? So we're doing this thing, but this one actor is like he'd worked with Paul before, and so he felt like he was going to run the show, and so through the improv, he was like he was just saying everything, and he just say any stuff, and finally, and all of us are kind of going, my God, what? So I blew. So I stand up and I go and I call him by his character's name, and I said, hey, blah blah blah. Everything you say is just coming out of your rear end. You don't. None of this makes any sense, and I mean, you're wasting all of our time, and so shut your pie hole, okay? And I just yelled at him, and he got all red and stuff like that, and everybody was like, ew, Mulkey freaked out, but it felt really good. and then there's cut, and then Paul says, the seas have calmed. We're going to go outside and do some of the other stuff. So then we didn't get back to this for another month, and so so Billy rewrote that scene where I don't have
Billy Ray, right?
Yeah, Billy,
it's a great script,
and didn't have any, and the scene was me just with Steve going. And the captain comes out, and I go, can we make it? Can we outrun the pirates? And I go, yeah, I guess we can. Because I'm going, look, they're paying me this money. If they want me to say this, okay, then I'll say that. It's fine. It's good. And then we'll go to lunch. All right, it's good. It's all about lunch. It's Tom.
Then we'll go to lunch. I'll hang out with Tom Hanks.
It's Tom's movie. It's not mine. Come on. You know what I mean? So anyhow, so we're doing. So we finally get back to the thing where I say, yeah, everything's cool, and yeah, we can do it, Cap, and okay, yeah, so he could cut. So Paul had this long blonde hair and gray hair, and he'd always scratching his shoulder, and he'd flip his hair back, and he'd go, Chris, come into the galley with me and Tom. And so I go in the galley with those guys, and he said, Chris, how do you think the scene's going? I'm going, oh man, what a trap this is. I think it's going good. It's good. I mean, it's good. And he says, really? And I said, yeah, it's good. Tom, good, right? And Tom goes. And I go, so what? He goes, Chris, could you do more? Oh. And I went, you mean like more? Seriously, that's cool. And he says, yes, more. I said, sure, I can do more. He says, okay, great. So I go out there, and when the guy goes to ask that one question, the guy that talked a lot, because he was going to talk even more.
Oh, yeah.
I go, hey, shut up. I got a right to talk here. I'm a fucking union guy for 35 years, blah, 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 blah. And I blew on him right there, right? And then Tom and I have a completely improvised dialogue about Mogadishu and all that stuff that Tom and I just like batted off each other. And all those cutaways were shot. And when you see all the other people going, like that.
Those were
they're
real?
Doing that. Yeah, those are all real because they thought that I had gone completely insane again because nobody knew we were going to do that until we did it.
Because you'd already gone insane a month earlier.
Yeah.
Did you have any? Oh, sorry.
Fantastic.
No, I'm just adjusting my seat warmth.
Yeah.
How's your hands warm?
That's Kurt.
Yeah.
There's dials for Kurt Douglas, Brad Pitt. Angelina Jolie is really a hot one.
Did you play a character, a real person?
Yeah,
did you meet that guy?
Yeah, I played John Cronin, and I met him in New York at the New York Film Festival, and he and I are like almost identical.
Oh, that's
we look
perfect.
alike. We have
he
the
looks
same
like Chris
sense.
Cooper.
Yeah, he does. He's the same height. Yeah, I said you're a little twerp, aren't you? No, but very nice guy, but also completely irreverent sense of humor, and he can drink pretty much as much whiskey as I can. Yeah, probably even more.
Typecasting.
What's cool that he was at the premiere because you hear stories about how some of those guys were. That's not how it happened in the movie, right?
I sat with him, and I sat with Rich Phillips, the captain.
Oh wow!
And that's the way it went down.
Yeah, I imagine.
So I have no idea what these other people are talking about.
Did Rich Phillips walk up to Tom Hanks and say, "I'm the captain"?
Yeah, right.
These are the same people who have problems with gay Sulu and female Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
they just like to yell.
Leave it alone. Nobody's happy.
You were saying that whenever you got to Malta, you saw some of the gentlemen who were playing the pirates, and they had seen you and your wife in a play.
Yeah. We were down at the dock, and I said because the whole crew, except for Michael Chernus and Tom Hanks and me. We were the only Americans, and the rest of them were all these British actors who were, Chris, can you touch? I've got these lines. I'm trying to make them sound American. Let me see. Right, I'll be fine, Captain. I said, dude, you don't have a chance. Don't just drink and you'll be fine. So we're down on the dock, and I said, Nick. The Somali pirates, we haven't met him. He says, oh, yes, Chris, they're all down. See the African-Americans down there? They're down there. So I yelled down the dock. I said, hey, what's up, brother Somali pirates? And they go, Mulkey, what's going on? Because all of them are from Minneapolis. And my wife, Karen Landry, and I were doing a play about it's called Pure Confidence in a theater that is in Somali Town in Minneapolis, and they came to see the play, and I talked to them afterwards, and I encouraged because they were doing a what's that 8th Mile that Eminem,
8 Mile.
Oh, 8 Mile.
They were doing a Somali version of 8 Mile, and then I said, "Do it, brothers, just shoot that stuff," and it was really, we just hung for like an hour, and then like 3 years later, I'm in Malta making a movie with them. Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
That's
and the lead was I forget his name, not Tom Hanks.
Bakar.
Yeah. He was from Minnesota, right?
All three, all 4 of them were all from Minnesota.
Wow.
They all auditioned for the first time together, and then every time they went, they kept all 4 of them together the whole time. And so,
Wow.
yeah.
And that guy is so skinny.
Yeah, he
That's
is. He's really.
amazing.
I just had to look up because we were talking beforehand. I knew he got cast in something big again because I want to see that
what
guy
is it?
again.
Me too. He was
It's the
great.
Blade Runner sequel.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, wow.
So he'll be in that.
Nice. Yeah, he's really good. And we were shooting. We were underway. We were doing about like 8 knots in this big ship, and if you fall, it's from the first deck to the water. It's 50 feet. Okay, and then if you're underway, what happens is because you don't get away from the vessel, if you fall off, it just sucks you right underneath the thing, and then you get choppied. So anyhow, it's really like a dangerous place to work. I mean, let alone make a movie with a bunch of actors going, "This isn't real," and they spend 2 days going with all the actors. All this stuff is real. It will kill you. Okay, all this stuff is real. We sat and they showed all this stuff, and then we got our seaman papers and all this stuff, and so anyhow we're shooting along the railing. I know.
Bart, if you didn't see it on YouTube, Bart leans forward and he goes, "No, all right, I won't."
Literally goes in for the semen joke.
I was going to do that too. I was going to do that. Siemens paper. I was going to say, and you cut that out. We got our Siemens papers as opposed to papers with semen on them.
Right.
Anyhow,
That'd be awkward.
Okay, good. That would be awkward. Say this is kind of I've read this paperwork and it's kind of a sticky deal. Anyhow, I had to go.
Nice.
I'm sorry. Did I pretty much?
By the way, no. We're allowed to do jokes.
It's good to do comedy.
Our listeners in New York
Love
think
jokes.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
What just happened?
They have semen in New York, I think, because the Great
plenty.
Lakes are right there, and then they have the ocean. But did I pretty much cover it, or did you have something else?
No, those were all fine. What actually what Paul saw and Adam saw was many things were happening. Like an overload of jokes just all got stuck right in the front of my
It was
head.
really funny
and
to
then
watch.
As they all backed up, Paul was like, he kind of like waved me off. He's like, nah.
Yeah, it was a little too late. I was like, I wanted to cue. I was going to cue you, but you were already leaning forward.
Yeah, that's a joke log jam.
Yeah,
That's
total overload.
But it's worse than an ice cream headache sometimes. That's also funny.
Too many options.
Yeah.
Since we can't cover all 200 plus of your movies, the last one I'm going to talk about real quick is Whiplash. Who is this? Damien Chazelle? Am I pronouncing that right?
I don't know. They called me up
out of nowhere.
Oh, that's So this everybody calls me up. He says, go meet this guy. And
Did you punch him in the face and you get cast?
No, I just kicked him in the balls.
From hello. I'm going, Damien, he's a nice guy. He was a great guy. So I'm going, hey, this is great.
Go meet Damien. No, you got the part.
Right. Yes. So I go there. So I go there and grab a cup of coffee with the guy, and he says, play the asshole uncle. So I said, all right, great, I got it. So we go do that, and that was the first scene we shot in the movie. The family scene. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's I was looking at IMDb, checking out, doing a little stalking of you, and they have it quoted on your scene with as the uncle. Whenever you say the kid goes out, he threw a symbol at whatever, and you're like, do you want to be remembered? He goes, I don't care if I'm a jerk, I want to be remembered. They have it quoted better.
Yeah, because you guys are making fun of him for being in the arts or whatever. But he has some great comebacks. I forget what they are though.
Yeah, it's a fun scene, but
it's worth a review.
But
yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna have a Mulkey festival this weekend.
Oh yeah,
Mulkey Fest.
Mulkey Fest.
Something you just like to be in these movies, and sometimes you're in the whole movie, sometimes you're like I say I'm in it for a minute, But it's cool. It's like you just keep working and doing stuff and keep swinging. There's a bunch of us that back in the day. My friend David Proval and a bunch of these guys. They were hanging out in Beechwood Canyon. They had this get together, and De Niro was up. Bobby De Niro was there, and David was going. I told these guys, I said, forget it. I'm not going to work this thing. I'm going to stay home. I don't. And De Niro said, "Hey, you know, acting is not staying home on the couch and just sitting around. You know, you got to go. I did Boxcar Mama and this and that, and then lately he's done these other things, and some of them are great, some of them are not great. Some, you know, and so that really stuck in my brain because as a young actor, you know, because I was like I was in my early 20s then, and I went, man, that's right. I should just do this stuff. So I keep doing stuff. So it's really good. It's important to do your stuff.
Yeah.
How did you get to know the Murray brothers so well? That's where I got to know you better. Is when we went to the Murray brothers Caddyshack.
You sang your rear end off.
We
at the
sang
Caddyshack.
I told that story on the show.
You did, yeah. but
Chris
this
and
is-
I
yeah.
sang together, and actually, it was crazy for me because first of all, I barely
Murray
knew,
brothers are
Bill Murray, and
Brian, Joel.
and Joel, and Brian,
Joel. Brian,
and I
yeah.
knew Joel because he'd been on our show a bunch, and then I met Chris because he knows a Boubet sister, and then we're singing, and the next thing I know, I look out. I'm singing a song I've never sung before with a guy I barely know with a crazy band, and there's Bill Murray. I'm like, what is
And Bill's
happening?
freaking.
He
He
loved it.
He was freaking. Well, I know. I met these guys because Brian and I got cast in a Larry Levin pilot and went to series on Fox called Bakersfield PD, which was this, and we did a year on there, and it was really the precursor of Reno 911. Is that right? Yeah. You got the same kind. Ron Eldard, me, Giancarlo Esposito, Tony Plana. Jack Hallett, oh my God, and Brian Doyle Murray. And so Brian and I met Brian from Hello, and it's like, wow, you know, okay, that's great. Did you play golf? You know, we go up to Rancho, you know, and just go up there and so we'd take a radio, we'd take a telephone with us, and we'd play. No, we're just at Starbucks. We're coming right back, you know. So we'd play golf during our lunch hour at any time we were off. And so Brian and I became really good friends, and so that's just kind of, so we're still
so
really,
funny.
he's a dear guy. Brian's, you know, incredibly smart, incredibly funny, great kisser. Oh, no, sorry.
He has
He's a good guy.
amazing seat
And,
warmth.
you know, and Joel,
good guy, good golfer.
But Joel is great, and
Joel's
Bill
a
and Andy
sweetheart.
and John and Ed, and I know the whole family.
Mhm.
Now
Wow.
I'm like the Murray cousin now.
Yeah.
that I'm proudly say.
It was like being at a Murray family reunion.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
So
Everybody
neat.
was an honorary Murray
It was so
that
cool.
week.
We were playing golf. Brian and I were playing golf at Ensign Canyon with these other guys we picked up. You know, it's like, so we got the foursome, and so I leap. I do a rolling leap out of my car and do a roll, you know, and get up and run to my ball, you know, with my club. And the guy goes, Is that guy related to Bill Murray? And Brian goes, no, but I am, for Christ's sake. No, but anyhow,
That's perfect.
That's great. But oh man, Caddyshack and you know and I mean Caddyshack and Groundhog Day and I mean oh my God, you know, it goes on and on.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and Murray Bill gets the Mark Twain Award this year finally.
I know,
Oh, that's
for
right.
comedy.
I don't know why I did not know that.
Yeah.
I should know that.
Well, he should. Yeah, it's
I
great.
should know that.
Let me ask you what we ask every guest who
Oh,
comes on the
yay!
show, and we
Yes.
got to get Karen's birthdays. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Wow, my favorite movie of all time. Well, I'm just gonna pimp myself and say Wizards of Oz.
Nice.
Oh, that's
I know. I'm sorry.
Great.
It's my fallback deal. I mean, he's on Down the Road. You know, and on
that's
behalf
The Wiz.
of-
That's the whiz.
Oh yeah, well there you go. Maybe I do have to go to the bathroom. No, but
The whiz is
no,
good.
but
Everyone loves Sidney Lumet, right?
on behalf of the Lollipop Guild, we must welcome
By the way-
you to Munchkin Land.
Interesting thing about Wizard of Oz, I think it's my mom's first or second favorite movie. Obviously, we all love Wizard of Oz, and they showed it at Thanksgiving when we were kids.
Absolutely.
every
Without-
year,
without
everything.
fail.
I couldn't wait for that on Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving movie.
There are some movies there's like 5 movies in the world that you will, wherever it's on, whenever it's on, you will just watch it. One is Godfather 1 or 2, which is really just one movie for me.
Yeah.
The other one is French Connection. Okay. The other one is Captain Phillips. Okay.
I'll watch it.
And Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
And Butt Girls 3, which is a fantastic, sensitive movie.
Better than 2. 2
better than
wasn't
two.
as good.
Answers a lot of questions from 2.
Yeah.
Now,
They really did 2 just so they could get to 3. It was more of a segue.
Yeah, it really was.
You had to have your 2
And
together.
I walked away from 4. I walked on that. I said, no.
And then they hired you anyway.
Yeah,
You're like,
they did.
I will not do this movie. I'll bet him.
But when my mom never realized that the movie went to color, she'd only ever seen it on black and white TV. And then finally, I got it on VHS or whatever, or when they started showing it on color TV, I guess first. But I got her the Blu-ray 3D. They converted it to 3D. And she had not seen it uncut off of TV until she saw it in 3D Blu-ray, and it was so crazy. It was like really was seeing it for the first time. So that's such a crazy experience. Like to make a movie like that brand new is like 3D Blu-ray. If you have the chance and you like Wizard of Oz,
Without the Geico commercial in there.
amazing.
And
Yeah,
the-
All right, let's take things home with Karen's birthdays. Karen's weekly look at the birthdays of those who make the movies. Karen, take it away.
Time. Karen's birthdays, it's time for Karen's birthdays, it's time for Karen's birthdays.
All right, let's start off our week of birthdays by wishing a very happy birthday to Ms. Jennifer Saunders, who turns 58. But she can play anywhere from absolute to fabulous. As you know, she has a movie opening this week. Bart's very excited about it.
They're finally in my age range. Or I'm finally in their age range.
I think
you're finally in their
you're
age. They're
getting
way out
close
of
to
your
their age. But we know that she plays Adina Monsoon in Absolutely Fabulous with comedian Joanna Lumley playing Patsy Stone. She began her career as a comedian and
I
actress.
think you mean Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem.
Not Adina Monsoon.
No.
Adele Dazeem, right?
And that's what she's known for by not Sylvester
Travolta.
Stallone. Travolta
knows her as Adele Dazeem.
She got her start at the Comedy Store in London. Not London, Ontario. The actual one that Chris will be going to.
The one they got over in Europe.
The one over in Europe. She got her start. And that's where she met her comedy partner, Dawn French. Now, Dawn French was on The Young Ones. I don't know if you guys remember The Young Ones. They were on that together with her and Jennifer. And also
Vegetable
Girls
rights
on
and
Top.
3.
3.
Girls on Top 3.
Yep. And Happy Families that they did a sketch from, and that sketch on French and Saunders is what became Absolutely Fabulous, with the uptight daughter and the drunken nitwit. So then they threw in, it
Drunken
turns
Nit
out,
was also a very long-running series in British television.
at least 30 episodes.
At least over 17 years.
About the Prime Minister.
Joanna Lumley was actually... The girl that plays opposite her was actually a really well-known fashion model, and then she, aged out of that, which you do when you turn like 22.
Not on the BBC.
Well, that's the thing. They took her and made her funny, and the British people just absolutely loved it because they knew her when she was like a young, hot actress. Well, not even an actress, just a young, hot model. But then when she got older, they were like, oh, she looks funny. Then she behaved funny.
Yeah. She
and
fixed
it
her
worked.
teeth, combed her hair. She's hilarious.
She's hilarious.
Over in Britain.
This is just a little thing for me because this made me happy. Today I realized that the Vicar of Dibley, which is one of my...
That is such a British sounding show.
What?
Wait a minute.
It's one of my favorite British shows. Yes.
That's a show?
Yes, it's
I thought that was a
amazing.
Not just a show.
No.
Richard Curtis. So it's good stuff.
so good.
The
And
Vicar of Diddley.
Dibley. Not Diddley.
I'm sorry.
That's
That's
the most British sounding show
Yes.
next to Porridge, which is a show which I think is the most British sounding show. Yeah.
I want to be on that.
Yeah. We can get your part on Porridge. I'm directing an episode of Porridge. I would like you to be in it.
Did you know that she was also in Spice World, you guys? I'm sure you guys saw that.
I saw that.
Minions.
Yep.
She does a ton of voiceover work. But I have to say that Bart, this is kind of amazing, but John Leguizamo is celebrating a birthday. What? Yes.
Yeah.
He turns 52. What's
Spawns?
so interesting about this is that you said it's interesting that he's, working again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a ton of stuff right now.
I know.
Matter of
I
fact,
tease John Leguizamo.
We love John Leguizamo.
just turned
He's
52
great.
of all things, which I think is crazy. And he can play anywhere from feisty to sensitive to a cold-blooded killer. Like in Bloodlines, which he's currently in. He plays Ozzy Del Vecchio. So scary. We're in season 3.
Yeah, we're about halfway through the new season.
Do you have some trivia on him? Because I don't want to trump your trivia because I heard him do an interview, and I think he's the only actor to kill both like Marlon Brando and Robert De Niro on screen.
Guess who else he killed? Paul, don't guess. He's killed somebody else that Paul loves on screen.
This might be. I might be wrong with
Max von Sydow.
Brando.
Didn't kill him if it's what.
Oh, he shot him. He
Shot
didn't
him in
kill
the
him.
head. Yeah.
In the head?
Shot him in the head.
And it
then
caused him to become a different person.
He started painting Ritz crackers.
And then he adopted a puppy.
Who is this?
He's in the opening scene of Regarding Henry.
He's the
Harrison
reason
Ford
the
in that.
movie happens. He shoots Harrison.
Maybe it's
Ford.
Harrison Ford and Robert De Niro. He's the only. He has some weird
That could be.
credit where he's the only guy to do it on screen, the only actor to shoot.
Everybody else just does it off screen.
Yeah, really.
Perfect.
Underrated movie,
Excellent.
The Pest, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Underrated movie.
Yeah, Spikorama was his one-man show.
That's what I was just going to say, and that was
great.
filmed by HBO, and that was the thing that kind of got him his calling card. Then he did. He also did Mambo Mouth, which
Yeah, he did
I
like
never
4 or
saw.
5 solo shows that really took.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Rocketed
for a while,
him
was
up.
Also, it says here he played in Spawn. He played a clown.
He did.
And he said that costume was like a penis wearing a condom. I don't know this character. Is that accurate?
They didn't really have special effects back then.
Yes.
And if anybody's seen the ending of that movie, they really didn't. But yeah, he had to scooch down. He had to like lean, scooch down in a costume. It was.
That's the way I felt when I drove up to the house today. I went to Whole Foods and I came back to my house and I felt like a penis wearing a condom.
That'll happen. It usually happens when you go to Vaughn's.
I just want to tell you, I'm feeling better now. I feel.
Oh, you're looking great.
You look fantastic.
Perhaps you spawned earlier, and
Perhaps you did.
description.
You're at least half a foot taller.
You probably didn't need that in this radio show at all.
No, people love theater of the mind, and so they can enjoy that image. All right, Bart, you know how much I love when celebrities sing.
This is true, Chris. I know this happens to you all the time. People are approaching you on the street and they say, "Hey, tell me 2 interesting things about that Carrot and Volpe." And I say, well, first, next to Kirk Douglas, some of the best seat butt warmth you're ever going to experience.
This is true. This is true.
And then the other thing that I tell them about Karen is that she loves when celebrities sing.
I do. So I thought that I would give our birthday girl, Jennifer Saunders, a little love because I didn't. I mean, she does a ton of voices, and she was in Shrek 2 playing the fairy godmother. And so here she is singing a little Holding Out for a Hero, and she actually sounds pretty good.
She sounds great.
Yeah. It's not funny. It's good.
I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night.
Darling, sweetie darling.
He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fast.
Sounds like Donna Summer.
Right? It's good. I was going to be funny, but it's actually good.
Great.
All right, that wraps into the movie showcast, everybody. Together with the Movie Guys, individually we are
Karen Volpe.
Follow us at the Movie Guys on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All that stuff. Thank you once again to all of our new listeners on WRFA 107.9 in Jamestown, New York. Please come back every Monday night at 8 p.m. Thanks to Chris Mulkey.
Yeah, fantastic.
Check out Chris's music too. We got to make sure we plug that.
Yeah, what do you have for social media? You follow on social?
Yeah, I do Facebook a bunch, and it's on CD and iTunes, and you can see some of my videos on YouTube. It's great. Living in White Trash Heaven, and Blue Highway, Lost Heroes Highway. Yeah, it's like a lot of stuff. Yeah, just keep rocking.
And you play all over, right?
Yeah,
you said
come
you're going
see.
Yeah,
Just came back from Vegas playing House of Blues at Mandalay Bay. We'll be up there in early September again. It's good stuff.
Great.
Yeah. Drinks are free.
Cool.
I'm just saying.
It's going to be packed now. Our
If
audience.
you're gambling, they're free.
Come on, baby.
Thanks to Steve Scholes for his writing contributions to the show every week and as ever. We owe everything to Pat Peach. Next week, we wrap up July with Jason Bourne. And who cares what else, honestly.
And if you don't know what to go see, just go see Ghostbusters. Because the ladies could use that nice big box office.
They
so
did.
keep
The
giving
biggest
them
comedy
money.
opening of the year.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love when guests who have worked with directors have a impersonation because I don't know what those people sound like. What do you have to do a Walter Hill impersonation?
Chris, I'm just up low and do it slow, okay? Go ahead.
Can you say this is Walter Hill and you're listening to the Movie Guys?
Hi, this is Walter Hill. You're listening to the Movie Guys. Thanks.
I got no money in my pocket, but I know I'm on my way. I think that's fate's